So you're looking to buy a home, and of course you're gonna have to pay the purchase price when you go buy that home. However, there are so many other fees associated with purchasing a home. And if you're not well prepared for these fees, not only could you go over your budget, but you could also potentially lose out on that home. So in today's video, I'm gonna be sharing with you the most common home buyer fees associated with purchasing a home. So therefore, when you go ahead to make one of the biggest financial and life decisions of your life, you're not getting slapped with any of these hidden fees. So if you want to avoid that headache, make sure to continue watching. In today's video here, I'm going to be sharing with you the 11 most common home buyer fees associated with purchasing a home that I see when I help clients buy their homes in their GTA. Now, of course, this is not an exhaustive list, as these are only the 11 most common. And if you want to learn an exhaustive list of every fee you need to prepare and budget for, make sure you watch to the end of this video here, as I'll be sharing with you how you can get my free informed buyer's guide, which will list out literally every fee and expense you could possibly imagine when purchasing a home to make sure you're best prepared. So make sure you stick around to the end of this video to learn how you can get that. Other than that, let's hop on into it. And the very first fee you need to budget for is any home inspections. Now, this fee is typically due upfront when the home inspector is inspecting that home you're looking to purchase. And this fee could range between $400 and $700 depending on how big the purchase of that property is and what that property type is, as well as if there's any additional work needed for the home inspector to complete that home inspection. Now, this fee won't apply to everyone, but if you've included a home inspection into the conditions of your purchase of sale of that home, this is a fee you need to account for. Now, typically when you're dealing with a home inspection, the realtor you have will suggest a home inspector or multiple home inspectors that you could reach out to that will help you get that home inspected. Now, I just want to say a word of caution here that there are amazing home inspectors out there. However, make sure you do your due diligence on which home inspector you're going to be purchasing, because at the end of the day, that agent might have a great relationship with that home inspector, which could lead you down a favorable path for that agent, but not for yourself. So make sure you, at the very least, do your due diligence on the recommended home inspectors that your agent is providing you, so that you can ensure that a home inspector is working to the best of your interests and not the agent's interests. Now, the second fee you need to prepare for are the property appraisals. And similar to the home inspection, this is typically due upfront or at the time of the closing and can range between about $400 and $600. And the property appraisal is used for when the lender is looking to give you a mortgage, but wants to make sure that property is actually worth that mortgage. And you may be on the hook to pay that couple $100 in order for the lender to feel comfortable in lending you out that mortgage on your property. Now, I have seen both the buyer and the lender cover this cost. So when you are getting a mortgage and deciding which lender you want to go with, this would be a great question to ask them so that you best understand if there is going to be any additional fees associated with working with that lender. If you're new here, my name is Matthew. I'm a realtor in the GTA, and this is my channel where I share everything I've learned around real estate investing and personal development, helping empower you to make the best decisions possible and level up your life. So if you're interested in that, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to not miss out on any one of my future videos. Now, the third fee you need to budget for is the deposit. And this is typically paid once the contract has been accepted and all conditions have been removed from the contract. And this is typically between 2 and 5% of the purchase price of that property. Now, of course, it can be more than that 2 to 5% range, as this is a great strategy for you to strengthen your offer and help it stand out from all the other buyer offers. Now, this deposit isn't an additional expense that you have to pay on top of the purchase price, but rather a deposit of cash you're going to pay upfront to that seller to show good faith that you're going to complete this transaction. And if the transaction goes smoothly, this deposit will just go towards your down payment of the home. However, if something does happen and the contract end up being canceled because of something on your end, you could possibly be on the hook for losing this deposit. So that's definitely something you need to prepare for and keep in mind when determining how much you want to put towards the deposit of your home. Now, the fourth hidden fee you need to be prepared to pay is the CMCH insurance premium. And this applies to anyone that is going to go out and purchase a home with less than 20% down. As when the lender is going to lend you money, when you have less than 20% down, you're considered slightly more risky of an investment, and therefore they require these insurance premiums. Now, this insurance premium isn't a lump sum expense, but rather it's lumped into the mortgage you're going to be getting, and you're going to have to pay it off throughout the entirety of that mortgage. Now, the total amount of premium you're going to have to pay over the lifetime of the mortgage is going to depend based on your loan to value ratio, and you can find the exact numbers right here. However, to give you a simple example, is if you're looking to purchase a $500,000 property and put 5% down, you can expect to pay about $19,000 over the lifetime of the mortgage. If it's 10% down, about $14,000, and if it's 15% down, about $12,000. So in the description, you can find a link to a mortgage calculator, which will help you best determine the insurance premiums you can expect from your own particular situation. So you can go check that out if you want to run the numbers simply yourself. Now, the fifth expense you need to prepare for is the title insurance. So this is something I recommend all my buyers get, because at the end of the day, you can never buy insurance when you truly need it, and you buy it for that peace of mind. So this title insurance will cover you if there's any encumbrances on the title, if there's any errors on the title, or if there's any liens on the title, like a construction lien, a utility lien, or taxes, which are basically just unpaid balances that you could be on the hook for from previous owners. And it's extremely important to have the peace of mind, in my opinion, when you're purchasing one of the biggest decisions of your life. So let me ask you this, before I tell you the exact expense you need to budget for, what is your peace of mind worth? My guess is it's less than $400 to $500 is what this fee is going to cost you. And this is typically a one-time fee you pay upfront upon closing, and it will cover both your peace of mind as well as your lender's peace of mind. So for that reason right there, I believe it's a no-brainer to get title insurance. So another fee that's also due upon closing is your legal fees. And this typically ranges between $500 and $700, and it covers your lawyer looking over for your documents, handling them, and making sure they're firm and binding when you go ahead and make this transaction. Now, this fee is going to be associated with pretty much every time you purchase a property, so make sure you have it budgeted in. So like the legal fees, another fee that's always associated with purchasing a home in Ontario is the Ontario Land Transfer Tax. And this works on a tiered system, as you can see here. And if you're looking to purchase a home in Toronto specifically, you'll also have to factor in the Toronto Land Transfer Tax and its tiered system. So in order for you to purchase a home, you're going to need to take these into consideration. And to go back to our previous example of purchasing a $500,000 property, if let's say you're looking to buy a home in Burlington and only need to factor in the Ontario Land Transfer Tax, you can look to factor in about $6,500, where if you're looking to buy that same property value of $500,000 in Toronto, you have to budget in roughly $13,000. Now, of course, if you're a first-time home buyer, the government does offer an incentive plan where it does give you back a bit of this land transfer tax, as you can see here. However, it is still something you're going to need to budget for when purchasing a home. So if you're confused or are looking for a way to calculate your own personal situation's Ontario or Toronto land transfer tax, I've also left a link in the description which links to my favorite calculator that I use to calculate this sort of thing. So another tax you need to be prepared to pay, and the eighth hidden fee on this list here, is a property tax adjustment. And what this is the seller could have possibly been paid the property tax beyond the closing date. And as you, the buyer, you're going to need to reimburse the seller the months that they've paid beyond the closing date in property tax. So this is just a simple reimbursement that is typically paid upon the closing date. Now, you want to get your buyer's agent to look into this to make sure that you know how much to budget accordingly. So another possible adjustment that could also come up is any utilities or condo fee adjustment. And similar to the property tax fees, these are any fees that seller may have paid beyond closing that you're just going to have to reimburse to them upon the closing date and can easily be found out by your buyer's agent. So on top of the utilities adjustment, another fee that you could also be on the hook for with regards to utilities is a new connection. And typically for Toronto Hydro, this is around $35 to either set up a brand new account or get that ownership of that account transferred, and just a small budget you need to prepare for when purchasing a home. So the 11th and final hidden fee you need to prepare for when purchasing a home is moving expenses. Now this fee here can be as little or as much as you want to pay for professional help with moving, as you can put in that labor where your expenses for moving is absolutely $0. However, if you're looking to use some professional movers to help assist you in moving all your belongings, what you could be looking at is between $90 and $120 an hour, plus some additional fees on top of that. So I'd recommend you budget in around $500 if you're planning on using professional movers. So those were the 11 most common hidden home buyer fees I see associated with purchasing a property. And of course, these are just 11, and there's way more fees that could possibly be associated with purchasing your property depending on where you're buying it and what property type you're buying. And if you want an exhaustive list of every fee you could possibly budget and prepare for, download my free Informed Buyer's Guide. The link will be in the description, and it goes over everything you need to know with purchasing a property, as well as outline every single fee that could possibly come up with purchasing your home. So the link is in the description for you to go ahead and grab your copy. And if you've enjoyed this video and it's helped you better prepare for purchasing a home, make sure to smash the like button, as I'd truly appreciate it out. And if you're interested in learning more about real estate investing or personal development, as this is what this channel is all about, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to not miss out on any one of my future videos. So thanks for watching to the end of this video. If you've enjoyed this video and are looking to continue your education around buying a home and you're a first-time home buyer, the next video I'd highly recommend you go check out is the first-time home buyer incentive program, as there's a lot of great programs out there that the government is giving you back money, helping you save on expenses when you're purchasing your very first property. So if you want to learn what those are and how much you can expect to save, go check that out. I'd highly recommend you go view that. And other than that, I hope you have a great and successful week, and I'll talk to you next week.